Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. God bless you. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Gretchen Dixon, and I have a very special guest this evening. Her name is Raquel Smith Devine, and you are watching Fatal Distractions. Let's Chat. I want you to go and invite someone and tune in, share, and like, because you are in for a treat this evening, a really, a blessing a blessing. Just like to welcome Raquel. Want to introduce yourself. Tell everyone where you live and a little bit about yourself.
Hello, audience. Pastor Gretchen, thanks so much for having me on today. It is such an honor to be here and to share, for you sharing your platform with me. I certainly appreciate it. My name is Rocquelle Devine, and I currently live in the DC area in Maryland. And I am the owner of our Devine Interiors and also Fabulous in the Kitchen.
Yes. Raquel and I have known each other for quite some time. As I've said before, there's so many great things and great people in Arkansas, specifically yes. Little Rock, Arkansas. Raquel and I were just reminiscing. I used to, for a short time, I worked with her husband, Merlon Devine. So for those of you that are familiar with him, he is an anointed Christian jazz saxophonist. The Devine family, we just love them. They're, like I said, good people, great people from Little Rock. So just so excited about Raquel being on. Like I said, I met her now over 20 years ago. Like I said, I know I'm dating myself. I don't look at it. It's been over 20 years. Raquel really, well, Raquel and Merlon both, they're so blessed, and they really blessed my life just watching them, and they inspired me. So one thing about it, for me, it doesn't matter about the age. Anyone can motivate you, inspire you, teach you something. So I've watched their walk with the Lord, their walk in marriage as well. And so it's really blessed me. Raquel, as I remember at the time, they had 3 small children, and she was a stay-at-home mom. And I remember I said, for me, that's, that was not me at the time when my children were little. I was like, oh my goodness. Seemed like it was always time to cook for somebody. I told my husband, I was home for about a year when our second child was born. And I begged my husband, because he wanted me to stay home. And he's like, I said, please let me go back to work. He's like, I didn't work this hard when I was working. I'm like, I said, it seems like every time I turn around, it's time to feed someone. So yes. Please let me go back to work. Yes. So I went back to work because I missed that interaction and all of that. Mm-hmm. I just applaud you, Raquel, and mothers that decided, that that's what you wanted to do. And you've done it very, very well.
Thank you.
Raquel wrote a book, a cookbook, yes. Fabulous in the Kitchen. How was Fabulous in the Kitchen birthed?
So Fabulous in the Kitchen was birthed just by means of me wanting to take my domestic skills and help other women. That's it. I wouldn't say I was like an extraordinary cook at the time or anything like that, but I found a problem that I had. I found a way to solve it, and I wanted to bring solutions to other people that were like me, that, in today's society, people go. We're running, well, pre-COVID, we were running kids here and there. And then, maybe perhaps we're also involved in church and things like that. And so, a lot of us were just going through the drive-through, every day, we begin to eat out of convenience and not so much out of, health or just some of the other benefits that you get from actually sitting around the table, interaction with your family, really talking to your kids to see how their day was, and just some of the bonding that happened around the family table was being bypassed. And so the other issue was women like yourself that were working outside of the home, and which I did for some years. I knew what it was like to have to come home and then cook. And not only that, you also have baths and homework and and it just
Mhm.
seems like, do y'all have to eat? Like, I don't want to do this, but of course, when it's also very economical to cook versus eating out all the time, especially when you have, 2 to 3 children or more. So I just began to find ways to create food quickly that my kids would enjoy. And the reason they enjoy it is because we all eat with our eyes first.
Mhm.
So, um, because I am from Little Rock, Arkansas, we cooked traditional Arkansas food initially, everything with gravy and rice every night and bread and canned vegetables, and so it just made for a very bland looking plate. You got your white rice, your white gravy, all that. It just looked really, really bland. And so once we relocated here, one of the challenges that I gave myself was, hey, let me start cooking with fresher ingredients. Let me try some new things. At the time, my kids were huge fans of Food Network, and they would always say, "Mom, come sit down and watch Food Network. Come watch this. Look what this guy is making." So they eventually pulled my husband and I in, and after so long, once I got ready to change our diet and appetite and start cooking more adventurously, I started just going to the Food Network website and pulling off recipes and things like that and just experimenting. So then I realized, like, hey, it doesn't take long to sear a chicken breast. If I don't bake, I don't have, it may take me 45 minutes to bake it. But if I sear it on top of my, just pan sear it, it takes like 15 to 20 minutes. So I learned that, hey, it only takes, less than 10 minutes to steam broccoli and carrots. So I just started incorporating things into my food, and then I would just share them to social media, and it began to garner a lot of interest. And so eventually I went from there, and I was like, hey, if I held some cooking classes in my home,
Mhm.
would you guys be interested in coming? So I got a bigger response than who showed up, but nevertheless, I was like, I'm going to try this. And let me also say, like, at the time, we hardly had any furniture in our house. Our house didn't look pretty, or anything like that. But I really wanted to help other people. And so I just opened my home up to them, charged a nominal fee. And that's kind of how things were birthed. And then from there, I wanted to develop another tool. And so a cookbook was something they could take with them, and I could sell all over the country and allow people to make fast and fabulous meals, which is the name of the cookbook, helping you get out of the drive-through and into the kitchen.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah, and like I said, I must say I've only looked at the cookbook. I haven't. I purchased it, and have one to give to someone. But and I bought the mug because I'm such, like I was telling them last week, I'm such a mug person. I bought the
Yeah.
mug, and so I have my Fabulous in the Kitchen mug and cookbook. And I
Yes.
must say that you have some beautiful presentations. Those of you that are watching, you're watching Fatal Distraction Let's Chat, and I have my guest this week is Raquel Devine on, and you want to follow her because, oh my goodness, just I remember your Christmas setting on the table, this table setting, and you gave that you got some of the items from the Dollar Tree or the dollar
Yes.
store. And
Yes.
so she know, you know how to take that some of us look over and go to Pure One, and you just got yours at the Dollar Tree.
Yes.
And it looks fabulous. Just like you said, it looks fabulous.
Yes. I we just didn't always have, I had big vision, but sometimes my money didn't match my vision. And so it would create so much frustration for me early on in our marriage. And so it's just like, Lord, why did you give me all this vision? And it's like, I don't have the provision to do the things that are in my head. And I was like, show me how to take what I can do, because we've never been big on going into debt to impress a lot of people or anything like that. So I was like, show me what you can do with what I have in my hands. And that's when like things just begin to open up for me, as far as just being able to see different things. I'm like, help me see this differently. Help me to see how I can use what I have and make the best of it. So yeah, that's what I did. And at Christmas, I had gone to the grocery store. I wanted some fresh greenery on my table, and I'd gone to the grocery store, and it was like $7 a bundle. I mean, which isn't extremely expensive, but I got home and I was like, wait, I have these same bushes in my yard. So I didn't go, and I wanted more greenery. And so, my son and I went out there and we just cut the stuff right out the yard for free.
Mhm.
And it's just a matter of, you can't do all Dollar Tree and still get the look, but if you can mix some high end and some low end, it kind of tricks the eye to think all of it is high end. So
Right.
I do a lot. I do a lot of that, and I just, try and be as creative as possible to create the look I want.
Wow, and that's key. That's something for those of us that want that look, and we can get that look without breaking the bank.
Yes.
So, what would you say to someone that is just starting out the decorating journey, that maybe they're not sure right now what their taste is, what they like? How should they start? What's a good way for them to start experimenting to see what they like and don't like?
Well, what I would strongly encourage anyone to do is, first of all, you do need to find out what your style is, because you need a vision. You need a vision, which is going to be your roadmap to fill your space. So look through magazines. Buy magazines and tear out the pages. Create a vision board for your, like, let's just say, I strongly encourage all of my clients and friends, start with one room in the house. Pick a room and start there. Sometimes, especially we move into new spaces, we just want to do everything all at once, and it becomes completely overwhelming. So for most people have to do a room at a time. I do know people that do more, but start there. If you're just starting out, get a vision for what you like. And to this day, like right now on my table, I have magazines and books, and I just go through and I just study. What do I like about this? What is appealing about this room to me? Why is this drawing me in? And that will, asking yourself the correct questions will help you cultivate your style. From there, I strongly encourage you to shop different sources, shop home goods, shop Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is phenomenal. Shop thrift stores. And if you do thrift stores or even home goods, go to high-end area or even Facebook Marketplace. Um, I have my parameters set on Facebook Marketplace for some of the wealthiest areas. And people are usually getting rid of really nice things
Mhm.
for a little bit of nothing because they're ready to put in the next nice thing. So that's a great way just to start building with your main pieces first, and buy things that you like. Like, don't be restricted to have someone else's look. Have things in there that actually speak to you and that you like.
That's good. And what I've learned over the years, my poor husband, he's learned that as well, because my taste seemed to be high end. And
Yes.
there were times I would buy low end just because that's what I could afford. But I
Yes.
was never happy with it.
That's
I
right.
was always giving it away. And
Yeah.
he didn't understand, when you just bought this, why are you giving away this living room furniture? Well, it really wasn't what I wanted to begin
Yeah.
with. So I learned that I have to wait. It takes me, I'm one of those persons that, one, I'm an analytical person, but it takes me a long time to make a decision for especially like furniture.
Hmm.
I'll go and I look and relook, and I'll, like you said, I'll go to different places. And if it's a high-end piece and it's not in my budget and I don't want to charge it, I've learned to wait. And my husband's learned to wait. He's
Yes.
learned, because if I get that piece that I really, really wanted in the first place, then I will keep it.
You'll keep
Because
it.
I'm
And
happy with
yeah, that's right. My mom taught me, buy expensive, good quality furniture and good quality shoes. So even when I had my college apartment, I had Haverty's furniture in it. Because she was like,
it.
invest in good furniture so you're not tossing trash out, all the time and having to replace it all the time. So you're so right. Like my main pieces in my main areas, um, I like it to be nice. I will mix in some other stuff here and there, but absolutely. And I'm like you, I'll let something sit empty just to wait on what I like to come through. So
Yes, and that's something that we as Christians, that patience, we have to learn patience in different
yes,
areas.
yes,
I've learned over the years, sometimes uh, those of us that are of color if we buy a new home, we'll go into debt to furnish that home, where I've seen other nationalities have that same space empty. And
yes,
when they fill it, it's filled with quality, instead of
absolutely.
just saying, oh, I have to have all my rooms furnished. So I've learned that over the years. And
Yes.
even though my mom, I remember our first home was brand new when we lived in Little Rock, and it's not like homes now, where the homes now come with blinds or plantation shutters or something.
Yes.
Our home was brand new with nothing, and
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have any children, and I couldn't afford curtains, or I didn't know what curtains I wanted. So I had sheets on the windows. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, I had all kinds, flowers, you name it. Each window had a different kind of sheet on it. And my mom was like, people would call her, she was kind of bougie. She was like
Uh-huh.
so embarrassed, like, why do you have these sheets on the window? It didn't bother me, because I'm just
Yes.
covering the window. This is temporary.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember doing that. So, like I said, willing to wait. So, and find out what you like. I
Yes.
don't know about those of you that are watching where you live, but pre-COVID, I'm in Texas. So we have large subdivisions that have model homes. When
Mm-hmm.
you drive to a subdivision, there are a lot of there are model homes, 3 or 4, sometimes 5 model homes there that's already decorated, to give you
Yeah.
an idea in case you decide you want to use that builder. So that's
Yes.
another way to,
That's right.
after COVID, to get out, go look, leave your neighborhood, go to furniture stores. That doesn't mean you have to buy
Absolutely.
anything. Just go and see what
Yeah.
you like and see what you don't
Ab-
like. There's,
Absolutely.
places that have custom, that you can do custom, but to get
Yes.
out. And pre-COVID, even now, what I do, I like you said, the internet is my friend. So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for a certain look for a certain room, I'll go on. I tease my husband all the time. Google's my friend. I'll Google what I'm looking for and
Yes.
just kind of see, because there are pages on Facebook, on internet, that come fully furnished, that you can get some
Mm-hmm.
ideas from. So
Absolutely. Let me
yes.
give this one really great tip, I believe, is that be careful looking at catalogs, at furniture stores for ideas versus magazines. So one of the things I know people will do, and I've done it too in the past, is that they'll buy the whole set of furniture. And
Yes.
it's really hard to get a good interior decorator look when you have a whole set of furniture, like a whole matching set is what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say. So definitely, mix and match. If you get the sofa, maybe get different chairs instead of getting the sofa, the chair, the love seat,
Mhm.
mixing that up. If you look in magazines, you'll rarely see a matching set of furniture unless it's an advertising for a furniture store.
Yeah, that's good. Like you said, because that's what I did recently. Well, I said a few
Mhm.
years ago, the new furniture, like I said, was all matching because we were in a hurry and we
Yeah,
bought all these pieces. And so
yeah,
now I'm trying to incorporate some other chairs
yeah.
to go with this furniture because
Wonderful.
the original set, like I said, I remember I bought it at Lazy Boy
Hmm.
and it's a design center, so you can custom design. So the
Hmm.
sofa was a solid, and then I was able to select the chairs separately and the
Yeah,
fabric for that. So yeah,
wonderful.
that's very good. That's very good.
Yeah.
That you shared a great nugget. You've been on some great shows. Where have you, people may be watching and you say, okay, she looks familiar. So where has God blessed you to be on? What shows?
Um, I would say one of my bigger shows that I was on was the Rachel Ray show. And that was via video. She did her top recipes of the year. And they contacted me about filming a video for it. So that was really, really exciting. And it was so exciting, to have everyone, all my social media friends see my son. I drug my son into it, to have both of us there. And then here locally, I do segments quarterly with Good Morning Washington, cooking segments.
Wow. Yeah, I remember seeing some of the behind the scenes
Yeah,
that you did. The like I said, I guess the prep and all of that that goes into it.
a lot.
For those that are interested in doing something like that, how did that come about? Did they reach out to you? How did they find out about you?
So with Good Morning Washington, actually, just if you have a gift, social media is a great tool to showcase your gifts, and you just want to put out great content. Be consistent with it, and from there, with me with Good Morning Washington, the producer contacted me on Instagram
Oh
and
wow.
was like, yeah. And then he just asked me, would I like to do a segment for the show? And I was like, wow. And it was just so uplifting to have him reach out to me that day. And so I've just been doing it for years ever since.
And
So I would
that's so
definitely
good
say,
because your gift and you're just showing that your gift will make room for you
mhm,
because God says in his word that he opens doors that no man can close. And
yes,
so he opened the door for you.
he
You didn't
opened the
have to
door for me to do that.
do anything.
Yeah. Other than that, you can pitch producers. They're always looking for content and ideas, and you can, call a station and say, "Hey, I like to send an email to a producer who does the booking for this show." You can say that, and they'll kind of tell you, what they're looking for, or you can pitch them an idea. Hey, I do this, this, this. I would love to share this with your audience. Here's my resume. Here's some examples of my work. That's another route that you could take.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
Uh, I remember watching you do a before and an after. I remember the green sofa, a piece
Yeah.
of furniture, another piece of wood furniture that you purchased, I believe, at a thrift store,
Hmm.
and you refurbished it. So how did you get into that? Is it based on because you like doing it, or you being frugal? What happened?
Well, I started seeing people do furniture makeovers on Pinterest. And I was like, wow. I was just really, really amazed at it. And I honestly didn't really have a good eye when I went into the thrift store for like what's a good piece of furniture to select to make over. I didn't want to, because you do need to know that. And I just studied it. I just studied it, studied it, studied it. And I get a lot of people in my inbox, hey, I'm going to redo all my dining room chairs. Or hey, and it's always this huge project. So what I did, and what I always advise people to do, start small. Like, buy a small little table for 10 or $15, because there's definitely a learning curve. I mean, no one starts out doing anything perfect. So you don't want so much invested in it when you're just starting out. So what I did, I think the first thing that I did, my daughter needed a chair for a desk in her room. So I bought the chair for $20, bought some spray paint, some scrap fabric, and it was my first time doing all of that. And I watched a million tutorials and I did it from there. And then once you build your confidence, okay, let me move up to this. Okay, so now for me, regardless of what I buy in this house or how much it costs or how great it looks, I find that I get the most joy out of things that I've actually had a hand in creating.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so when I look around my house, I can get used to other things, but the things that like I painted that, wow, I did that. Like I just find that they bring me continuous joy. So I always try to incorporate something that I painted or something in every room. I want to look around and just see like, wow, wow, wow. So I would just say, start small and work your way up from there. And there are so many tutorials online, just like study, 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 study. That's what I do. I read a million tutorials, I watch a million tutorials, and then I try it. And I started doing that just because I liked the way it looked. And I thought, well, here's another way to fill in that gap I was telling you about, where I like a look, but my money might not be there. And I want to bridge that gap. I was like, well, I love how this looks. So I've been just blessed to find some really great pieces in thrift stores.
So what would you advise someone like me? I have some bar stools and I really want them recovered. But I've never done anything like that. I was thinking about hiring a person to upholster them.
Mm-hmm.
But from looking at them, it looked like it could be easy. But so would you suggest I buy enough fabric for all the chairs in case something goes wrong and I can give it to someone who knows what they're doing? Or just buy enough for the one bar stool and try and see if I can do it?
If you know that that's a fabric that you would like, absolutely go ahead and secure it, because not only may it not be in stock, but also people do, sometimes fabrics have different runs, which just means that it could be the same print, but this was made in May of 2019, and then they recreated it again in May of 2020. And sometimes if you put both of those beside each other, it'll be a difference, perhaps in the shade of the fabric, just a little bit of variance there. So if you already have seen a fabric that you like, I would absolutely go ahead and secure it and then try with one bar stool. Yes.
Yeah.
Start with one.
Yeah, and it would be one that has it's the bar, so it has a back and a cutout in the center. So I don't know if I'm biting off more because I'm one of those, I barely made it out of home ec with a C. So I don't know if I just need to just leave this to the professionals.
Yes.
Or what,
Yes, I'm all about, I do what I can and I hire for what I cannot. And I don't have to do everything. So absolutely, it's just as great to say, you know what, this isn't my ministry. Let me just hire somebody.
Yeah, I hire a lot of people because a lot of, like you said, several things when it comes to things like what you're doing. Yeah, I just let the professional do it.
Yeah.
So kind of shifting a little bit, now that you decorated your home and you show us how you cook, what is the newest thing that was birthed during this pandemic?
As far as projects or business or what?
Business.
Business.
I hear you have a new business now.
Yes. So I actually do interior design for other clients now. And it's actually something that I've done in the past. Actually, when I lived there in Little Rock, I decorated homes and offices for friends and family members. And I went to a Chandler School of Interior Design, Tom Chandler. Yeah, which was so much fun. And so I learned so much there. Also, my degree is actually in the home economics department. So that's been my background all of my life. And on my mom's side of the family, like that, my aunts upholster stuff, they sew, my grandmother sewed. So it's, you know, how gifts run in the family. So
Mm-hmm.
this is certainly in keeping with my family's gift. And so I did that then. And then also when we first moved here, I worked with the decorator for about 5 years. I was her only employee and design assistant and office manager. And then, so now I'm like coming back to it, you know, for hire for people. And it's been really, really great to do interior design in other people's homes. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, because I saw, so what's the name of your interior design company?
Our Devine Interiors.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
And you're in the Maryland area, DC?
Yes. The Maryland, DC, Virginia area. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, how is that going? I saw a makeover. It was amazing. So how is that business going for you?
It's going really, really well. Thank God. I've just been blessed with so much work. Currently, I'm working on a client, 2 bedrooms of the young men that live in her home. So that's going to be really exciting. I should be sharing that next month. I also have a client who is redoing her formal living room. So we're just adding some accessories and things there. I have another client where I'm doing just some consulting work on most of the bottom level of her home. So it's been really, really exciting. Yes.
Wow. And you're back to your first love, that the
Yes.
interior design, everything that
Yes.
you trained for.
Yes.
Oh, that is
Absolutely.
it's so funny you should say, well, about it runs in your family. Well, see, my mom was like you. She was very gifted in, you know, all of that, the sewing, the decorating, all of that.
Yeah.
And by me being the oldest daughter, she assumed that that was me. It was not. It was not. My younger sister, it's amazing that we have different attributes from her. The academic side, graduating high school early at a very young age, that like she did, that was me. But
Wow.
then I was the one that was thankful to get out of home ec for the C.
Yes.
Couldn't cook when I got married. But my sister would make clothes for her Barbie dolls as a little girl. Without, you know, a pattern, she would just, you know, create stuff. So,
Wow.
and my mom was in the medical field. She was a nurse. So my sister it's so funny. My younger sister has the nursing, you know, the medical side, because I'm squeamish with everything, blood,
Yeah.
needles. But so yeah, she just assumed it was me. It was horrible. It was
Yeah.
horrible.
I
Yeah.
understand, yes. And my mom is not creative at all. And so it just kind of skipped her and came to me. So she's just always in awe, like, wow, you know?
So I definitely can, yeah, relate to that. But yeah, my younger sister, I would love to do that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was for years, and I didn't know. I mean, I was just really, really bad. Even when it came to my sister does hair, can do her own hair. I can't do any of that. For years, I didn't know why. When I tried using a curling iron, there was a crease in my hair. Realized I was turning it the wrong direction. That's
Yes.
why. So
Yes.
not at all. So yeah, my sister's more, that side of it. So if
Mhm.
people want to connect with you to reach out, are you only in the Maryland area, or everywhere, or how can they connect? Do they want some consultation or need some assistance decorating? How would someone reach out to you?
Well, there are several ways. You can direct message me. You know, I try and check my Facebook messages quite a bit, as well as Instagram as well. You can also email me at rdivineinteriors@gmail.com.
That's good. I just appreciate you so much, Raquel.
Thank
I
you.
need you to come here. I just need to increase my budget. I need you to come here and do something with with one room of my house that it just, oh my goodness. Yeah. It's a
Well,
challenge.
I'll be more than happy to help
It's been
whenever
a
you're
challenge.
ready.
Because I know after, like you said, I bought the furniture and I told my husband I just wanted to throw everything out and start over. And he's like, no.
No,
He said, you want to
right.
do what? He's like, no, we're not
Yeah.
doing it. Because it would be,
Yes.
he said the furniture is too expensive for you to start over. But
Yes.
yeah, I really appreciate you for being on tonight. I'm so blessed to have you on, to see the things that you're doing, that are, I'm thankful that you're a part of my life, that as to inspire me that there's possibilities. Before we close tonight, what would you tell some of the young mothers that were like you at one time, that these are things you want, but you don't know how to do it? Maybe your husband's not in a position right now to help you decorate the way that you want to, or you like decorating. What are some of the nuggets that you would share with them that to encourage them?
As far as like funding for your space or
Mhm.
whatever.
Funding, and then pursuing your dreams of, you
Pursuing
want
your
to decorate.
dreams.
Mhm.
Yes, I would just say priorities, priorities, priorities. Define what your priorities are, and they don't have to look like anyone else's. And your definition of success doesn't have to look like anyone else's. So there was like a period of time for me where my number one priority was being home and raising my children, and giving them a firm and stable foundation. But you are not totally limited during that season. So I have always, always, always tried to do things on the side, even if I could only do it at a hobby level. I tell any young mom this, always have something that you do that is just for you, something that brings you joy, something that helps you exercise your gift, something that helps you be a blessing to other people. Like always have that thing in your life. And sometimes depending upon your other responsibilities, sometimes it can be really, really big, and sometimes it can be small, but the main thing is to have something just for you. So I've always tried to do that in my life, always tried to incorporate that, because one day your kids move out, and so I would definitely say that. Now with social media being present, there are just so many opportunities and ways to connect with people. I remember we used to have to get a babysitter and try and go to lunch with a friend. But now, you can connect with someone virtually. You can be a part of a community online. So I would definitely say take advantage of those things so you can always grow and educate yourself and get better, as much as you can. So now you can like get involved in things. You can have a home-based business now. There are just so many things that you just don't have to ever be limited. So just think unlimited, basically. Don't allow any limitations to define you. Just what can I do right now with what I have?
That's good. I heard you say something about finding what you like. There's a group of young ladies that I mentor that are still in the discoveries portion. How, sometimes us as moms, I remember when my children were little, I didn't know what I liked.
Yes.
I was so involved. They were my life, making sure
Yes.
and all those things. How would you recommend someone to try to find, what you like?
Yes, that is so good. I mean, and there are times even where you have to stop and rediscover what you like again. I mean, even when my kids moved out, I had a time of rediscovery again, because so much of what you like is based on three little people, So it can be hard to fine tune what you like, but I would definitely say just have a Q&A discovery session with yourself. So like there are tools on Pinterest. You can hire a life coach, you can hire a mentor, someone, and it just takes time and asking yourself the right questions to discover and get in touch with what it is that you do like. And like I just said, that's okay if that happens several times throughout your
Mhm.
life, because what we like changes. There are things that I like now that I really didn't care for 20 years ago. And there are things 20 years ago that I may have liked that just are not a part of my life right now in this season. So definitely connecting. I love the life coach path. I find that's been very fruitful for a lot of women. Also, mentorship and groups like that can really help you discover what it is you like. Therapy, all of that.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yes.
good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Raquel, for being on. Thank you for sharing. I'm just so excited about the things that you're doing, and look forward to seeing what's next, because you constantly, like you said, evolving, because you
Yes.
started out with Fabulous in the Kitchen, and now
Yes.
you've expanded to our Divine Interiors. And it's
Yes.
all birthed out of what you were doing anyway for your own self,
Absolutely.
for your home.
Absolutely. Never be afraid to evolve. Sometimes we think we always have to be what we've always been. But women, especially, we're so multifaceted, all of us. Even if you don't have my skill set, women have so many skills, and just never be afraid to evolve. You don't always have to be what you've always been. So
Yes, you don't have to be what you've always been.
yes.
Well, thank you again for being on the show tonight. Thank those of you that have tuned in. You've been watching Fatal Distractions, Let's Chat. This month we've been talking about It's Your Time to Soar. I've had some amazing guests on this month, and I'm so thankful for, like I said, Raquel, because I can remember when she had three little ones, and now they're out of the house, and you're just enjoying life with my amazing friend Merlon. And those of you that follow her on social media, and what social media outlets, how can they find you one more time before we go?
Okay, so I'm on Facebook under my name, and then I'm also on Instagram under Fabulous in the Kitchen, and I also have Our Divine Interiors page.
Well, great, great. You guys reach out to her. Those of you that are in the Washington area, reach out to her. She can show you how to decorate a table, your home, cook something great in the kitchen. But yeah, you will not be disappointed. Just reach
Thank
out
you.
to her, and she will bless your entire life. I'm telling you. But
Thank you.
thanks again, Raquel. Give my love to Merlon, and those of you that are watching, tune in next week again for another Fatal Distractions Let's Chat. Have an amazing week and have a good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.